the man behind the myth of the Boston Yeti. Well, he first appeared in late January when Mother Nature dropped 2 feet of snow on the city, a bright spot of whimsical entertainment amid the constant shoveling, plowing, and complaining. For months, his identity remained a mystery until now. The man behind the Boston Yeti mask, John Campopiano, joins me, and as it turns out, he worked here at WGBH all along as a digital records manager at Frontline right across the street from where we're sitting right now. John, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So give me the genesis account of the Boston Yeti. How did the Boston Yeti come to be that evening last winter?
Sure. So I bought the costume originally for Halloween last year and wore it and put it away. And then as the news forecast started picking up and they started saying you're going to have these epic blizzards, I said, wouldn't it be fun if I put the suit on and sort of just walked around the city and just kind of see what happened? So I did just that. And then I saw a broadcast on NECN saying, hey, tweet us your winter photos from the blizzard. And I said, this would be great, something a little different, not all doom and gloom, something fun. And created the Twitter account and the email address and tweeted it out. And within a matter of minutes, people were pouring in.
What was the reaction that you got from people on the street before you went into social media to push it out? What did people do or say when you walked by?
I got a lot of strange looks. I remember helping shovel out a neighbor, and he sort of just stopped and froze and didn't really join in with me, just kind of observed, and plows going by with the cell phones out the window. So people were puzzled, I think.
And did people try to talk with you? And if they did, were you in character, or would you just talk to every chat?
No, nobody ever tried to talk with me, and so I therefore wasn't speaking. So there was no voice associated with the Yeti. So
I would think that'd be kind of weirdly empowering and liberating a little bit. You go out, no one talks to you, they marvel at you.
In some ways, yeah. And I sort of felt like Batman. I sort of put it on and felt like a different person and was just having fun with it.
Did you have any inkling that this was going to blow up the way it did? Because I mean, you made the appearance with Marty Walsh. You mentioned NECN, but you had national media and I think international media trying to find you, right?
That's right, yeah. I got radio interview requests from Japan. The Guardian had a headline with me and Tom Brady saying sort of something to the effect of, look out, Tom Brady, there's a Yeti in Boston. So right around the Super Bowl time. So it was bizarre. It was puzzling. Never in a million years would I have imagined that it would have picked up the way that it did.
Did you enjoy it, or did it get to be a little too much?
At first it was overwhelming. I mean, I think once you sort of let something out like that and social media picks up and it goes viral, you can't take it back. You can't put it back in the box. So it was overwhelming at first. Yeah.
Were there ever times when the obligation to be the Boston Yeti, as the winter progressed and this kept happening again and again and again, were there ever days where you're kind of like, my heart's not really in this tonight, I don't think I'm going to do it?
Well, I lost a friend unexpectedly this past winter. A guy actually lived in Boston, and I was devastated. And it felt counterintuitive to then put the suit on and run around and sort of act silly and jolly when I was feeling so much pain. But as I thought more about it, I thought, well, for one thing, he would have loved this, and I never got a chance to tell him that it was me. And the other thing is that, it was helping me grieve in some ways. I felt that, just as much as some people in the city felt they needed the Boston Yeti, I felt like I kind of needed him at that point too to sort of help me get through what I was going through.
What did your colleagues at Frontline have to say when you came clean about the fact that the Yeti was you?
They were supportive. They had a great sense of humor about it. I wasn't sure, not knowing how big it was going to get, and the fact that, we're a public institution
and a serious public institution.
And a serious public institution, and doing phenomenal work. So I just wasn't sure. I didn't want it to be interpreted as disrespectful or anything like that. But that wasn't the case at all. They were warm about it and wildly supportive.
The Improper Bostonian, I think, was the first to write up the fact that you are the Yeti, or you were the Yeti. In that interview, you said that one reason you're going public is that you were feeling a little protective of the Yeti. What do you mean?
That's right. Well, I found that a lot of folks were using the image of the Yeti this past year in ways that maybe I wasn't very excited about.
Give me an example of that.
Well, sure. So right when the sort of the media blitz happened, somebody had a Yeti mask that they wore, and they went to a local bar, and they were drinking beer from the tap, and they were jumping around and causing a ruckus. And I just felt like I don't want folks that know it's me to confuse that and think that, hey, is John out there doing those kinds of things? So
Did you also feel defensive of the fictional character itself, though? Like, that's not what the Yeti does.
sure,
The
yeah,
Yeti's-
and sometimes I even speak about him in that way. In that way, you know, and it's sort of this character that once I realized that there was interest and that it was resonating with people, I felt like, okay, it's my responsibility to sort of grow this character and develop him and take him in a direction that I think is fun and appropriate. And so some of those things that were happening didn't align with
fit the
that.
bill. All right, my final question for you, obviously, is whether you're going to do it again this year.
I think so, and maybe in a different kind of way. I have some really fun ideas for the Yeti and where he can go, and I'm ready to explore those in the new year.
I look forward to watching John Campopiano. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Adam.